Hello, my name is Giselle Toll. This is my first exam video for Geo 309 Biogeography. This is going to be about week 2, Speciation and Extinction. I went ahead and I printed out all the questions, but I don't have any answers. I know that's an important part of how we're graded. I have the questions, but I memorized the answers. Let's go ahead and get started. So the first question is, at the most basic level, how can you explain the presence of a species in a given place? So this is basically just two different types of dispersal. First type is that the species just became there. It was like where they originated, where their life started. And then the second type of dispersal is if they migrated there, moved there over time. Question 2, at the most basic level, how can you explain the absence of a species in a given place? So one type is dispersal, and that's just that they were never there to begin with. They didn't end up there, they didn't make it over there. Or there's extinction, so the species was there, but they just had gone extinct over time. Question number 3, what is speciation? Speciation is just the origin of species, pretty much how they were created. Pretty basic definition, but yeah. Question 4, explain one mechanism of origination. One mechanism of origination would be allopatric, I'm not sure the exact way to say it, but it's basically, say you have one group of species and then they face some sort of geographical barrier, and it splits the species kind of into two. And since they're split into two, they can't interbreed necessarily. Like, they can't breed with each other, so then they're kind of are only breeding within these two separate groups, which then can allow for different types of evolution, different experiences to kind of change how they breed as a species, or like what comes of their species. So that is a mechanism of origination. Question 5, how old is planet Earth? Planet Earth is 4.6 billion years old. Question 6, how old is the planet the Moon? The Moon is 4.5 billion years old, so just a little bit younger than the Earth. Question 7, what is a protocell? Indicate when it originated. So it originated 3.5 billion years ago. And a protocell is, I'm using the example of how you explained in the lecture. It acts as a plastic bag, and basically on the inside there's these molecules, and over time the molecules were like cooking, doing its thing, and then the protocell had created a cell wall that contained all these molecules. So over time, cooking on Earth for like 1 billion years, the molecules in the center basically created life, and we can credit life to protocell, believe. Question 8, where did life originate? Life originated, there's like 3 potential places, then there's like a 4th potential place, but the 3 main places where life originated was Western Australia, North America, like by present day like Washington or Quebec, and then the 4th potential option is Mars, which ties into the next question, which is, what is parspermia? So parspermia is basically a cellular life form that is in the form of these little like chain links called magnetite chains, and basically astronomers or scientists, I don't know if it was astronomers exactly, but they found this meteorite that had landed on Earth, and when they went to see how old it was, they found out that it's actually older than planet Earth. So they kind of had this theory that this cellular life form, parspermia, like with the little chains of life, that it was on this meteorite and that it was brought to Earth, and that's another theory of how life originated, which is pretty interesting. Okay, question 10. What is the interim phase of a geographical range? So the interim phase is basically the middle part. If the graph is like a U shape like this, it's the chunk in the middle where it's the most steady, constant, and it comes right before like the decrease. Question 11. What is outward and inward extinction? Which one is most likely? Explain. So outward extinction, think of a circle, and if you start in the middle and the species begins to go extinct in the middle, outwards to the periphery of the circle, then that's outward, going from the inside to the outside. Inward extinction is the opposite, so you have your circle and the extinction starts in the periphery and then it goes inside. So those are the two differences, but what one is most likely is outward, because scientists have found out through research that species go extinct like more in the middle, and the last like parts of the species, the last living pieces of the species are found on the outside and the periphery. So yes, don't know if that made any sense. I hope it did. Question 12. What is a mass extinction event? A mass extinction event is basically where what classifies something as mass extinction is if over 70% of species on Earth at the time go extinct. So it's just like majority, I guess that would be over half, the majority of species on Earth go extinct. Question 14, that was question 12. Question 13, how many mass extinction events have happened and why? So there have been a total of 5 mass extinction events. The different types were glaciation, volcanism, methane or O2, and then meteorites. So that's like why the dinosaurs became extinct, for example. So those are the types. And question 14, explain how the Great Dying most likely happened. So the Great Dying most likely happened by a huge volcanic eruption in Siberia that released a bunch of methane and O2 into the atmosphere, which was basically to think of it as like a rapid climate change experience. So all the effects that climate change would have, like rising temperatures, ocean acidification, it basically drove a bunch of species to die. Yeah, that is the Great Dying. Question 15, why does the best record of life go back only 500 million years ago? So there's a few different reasons as to why it only goes back 500 million years ago. The first is that life on Earth wasn't believed to be hard-bodied yet, so it wasn't able to fossilize as well. Another reason was tectonic plates, erosion. The Earth has just changed so much over time that we really can't look back that far, but it's kind of a combination of the two. Question 16, are we in a mass extinction event currently? Explain one piece of evidence. So no, we are not currently in a mass extinction event. One piece of evidence from your lecture or the slideshow was that only 1 to 2% of species go extinct per year, which doesn't consider a mass extinction, because as we know 70% is the main number for mass extinction. And from what I remember from your paper is that with the chart that you were able to make, it shows that we are not in a mass extinction event, but it could be happening soon. I think the year was 2250 or something that it dipped into that red line, and there was that U curve. And they are saying that next mass extinction event will likely be caused by humans, or is on the way to being caused by humans, because we are destroying our planet. Anyways, question 17, why are species hard to report as extinct? Species are hard to report as extinct because once they become extremely endangered, they are harder to spot, harder to cite since there's so few of them. The example I used in the lecture was the Yangtze river dolphin, and basically for that they thought it was potentially extinct in 2002 because that was the last sighting or they hadn't seen it in a while, but then in 2006 they were able to obtain like some video footage that could have had a potential sighting of the dolphin. So it's just hard to really know for certain because there's so few and you can go so long without seeing one. Question 18, last question. How long has it taken planet Earth to recover from a mass extinction event? So typically, studies say the Earth takes up to 10 million years to recover from a mass extinction event. And that is like to fully have biodiversity be sustained again. But yeah, it takes a really, really long time. And it makes sense when you think about how many species have gone extinct, why that would take so much time to catch back up. Anyways, thank you for watching this video. I hope I explained everything clearly enough. Yeah, thank you. I'll see you in the next video.